protest from the Nigerian students in Morocco, and we are here to plead with the government to please pay our money. We have been owed for over 10 months, and it's been very difficult for us to go. We can't go to school because we don't have transport fare. We don't have feeding money. I don't know how you expect me to eat. I don't know how you expect me to study on an empty stomach. I don't know how you expect me to go to school without transport fare. The main reason why we are sent here is to study, and there are no job availabilities, nothing to do. We are not lazy students, but we don't have jobs. We can't even work. We can't do anything. Please, the Nigerian government we are suffering. A lot of students are homeless. How do you want me to study when I don't have a roof over my head?
Indeed, from what you hear, the hardship in the land is not peculiar to Nigerians at home, but is also extending to Nigerians abroad. You just heard that soundbite from one of the students of Nigerians studying under the bilateral educational agreement, talking about what they're currently facing following the reduction of their scholarship funding by 56%, a whopping 56%. Let's get more acquainted. We understand that they're being owed. Let's get more acquainted with their situation now. Joining us is Dalhatu Tijani, yes, medical student, Hassan II University, Casablanca, Morocco. Dalhatu is also the spokesperson, Union of Bilateral Education Agreement Scholars, UNBIAS. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Indeed, it's good to have you. So many questions to ask. Want you to paint a vivid picture of your current situation now and that of other Nigerians. Perhaps it will also be important to know what the terms of your scholarship funding as stated, in the document that you filled before you began studying alongside other Nigerian students.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Permit me to take a moment to thank the Nigerian government as well as the Federal Scholarship Board and the Minister of the Ministry of Education for this opportunity. Indeed, we have realized that we have recognized that this opportunity is not given to all Nigerians, and we are the few among the many Nigerians that have applied to get this scholarship, and then we are successfully picked. So we thank you and thank the government so much for it. However, this opportunity has come with a lot of challenges, and I really thank the Channels Television for giving us the opportunity to air in our views. Right now, let me start with the second question you asked, which are the times of the conditions of the scholarship at the point of departure from Nigeria. So at the point of departure from Nigeria, we're given an award later by the Federal Scholarship Board signed by the then director, which states that every scholar will be paid its total sum of $500 United States per month for upkeep. It also clearly states that the accommodation and the tuition fee for each scholar will be settled by the host country, because the bilateral education agreement and the host country are responsible for accommodation as well as the tuition fee. For the first part, yes, they have fulfilled their responsibilities for tuition fees, but for accommodation, it's not all the countries that have been given accommodations. So that is one. And then we have some other allowances, including the takeoff grant of 60,000 naira. We have health insurance of $200 per year. And then we have $500 for medical students to augment the purchase of books and the rest also per year. And we have, we also have 250 for warm clothing. That is also per annum. So the only thing we are being paid per month is $500 per month. So for the past 13 months, that was since June 2023, we have not been paid. The federal government came to pay us from January to August, but they clearly stated that due to the economic situation of the country and the fluctuation in the dollar exchange rate, they cannot afford to pay everything. So they paid till August, but we realized we had a shortfall of about $1,103. So that was the situation. So we're still having a shortfall of that just till August, and we have been owed from September to December 2023, and we have been owed right now from January till this moment as I speak to you. So I saw you're also showing the viewers the letter we received. This letter was sent by the Director of Federal Scholarship Board, signed by her. It was sent on the 23rd of July, which clearly states that due to the economic situations of Nigeria as we speak, there's going to be an adjustment from our stipend. So there will be an adjustment from $500 to $220 per month. So we are still yet to receive this adjusted amount, but because we have with the Federal Scholarship Board, they have clearly stated to us that, okay, this is just an adjustment due to the economic situations and the remaining balance will be paid. So we're still waiting to see this 220, and we still don't know when the remaining balance is going to be paid, as we have not been paid that of 2023, and in 2024, we're also having the same issues, and we still do not have an idea what is actually being put in place to avoid this same issue in 2025. So going forward, we really do not know how things are going to turn out to be, and with the fact that the dollar fluctuation is still ongoing, and we can't say if it's going to stabilize in 2025, but we hope so. So this is it. I don't know if I can discuss the challenges we are facing at the moment. Thank you. So
besides the reduction in the allowances, you're also being owed from December 2023, from what you have said.
Yes, we have been owed from September to December 2023, and a shortfall due to the same reasons that they have given right now of $1,123. And right now we're still being owed from January till this point as I speak.
Okay, so go ahead and talk about your challenges currently and how many students are affected, if you have the numbers.
Yes, before joining this meeting, I requested from the different presidents of the different DA countries. And then we have about 39 students in China, 230 in Hungary, 429 in Morocco, 45 in Algeria. Venezuela, we have 17 students, and Russia and Serbia have not yet sent the number of students they have. Romania has not yet integrated the forum. So that is the number of the students. Right now, the issues we are facing is, like I said, we appreciate the federal government, especially the federal scholarship board. We don't have an idea of what they have done to secure the release of the 220 that they are about to pay, which has not yet arrived. But then the issue right now is the money can still a long way in there. It's just like a drop in the ocean. And we can barely use it to solve the problems, the enormous problems that we are facing as we speak right now. Because we've been owed for 13 good months. And you should understand, when you have been owed for 13 good months, you have to look for other means to survive. And then people are actually taking loans or borrowing from people that they are going to pay it back with the intention that they are going to receive $500. And right now, the same reasons that were given in 2023 was given now, and we're only going to get 220. Students in Russia are basically under hard labor as we speak. Some of them are able to get jobs, but the jobs is really, really tight, and the visa condition does not also allow them to work. Even the federal government condition on us does not also permit us to work. So that is one issue, and the job they are doing is basically construction sites that will definitely affect their performance in school. People in Morocco do not have accommodation. Like I said, not all the countries provide accommodation, and as such, we spent over $250 just on accommodation. So we have been complaining federal scholarship on this regard, because you have been given 500, and then 50% of what you have been given is going into accommodation. The director assured that they will review the scholarship, and they will talk with the Moroccan government to see how they can to see how they can provide accommodation for us. But we were appealing that in the shorter time, they should augment the stipend for us so that we can cover the accommodation fees. Students in Hungary who are doing PhD and they got their visas with their family on the basis that they are being paid $500 per month, they are at the verge of missing out on the visas, because the condition that was given is that they can be able to take care of their family. But as we speak, we've been owed for 13 good months, and they're defaulting on that agreement. And right now, we're still going to have money that's not enough to settle that debt. I want to anchor on the debt. I want to emphasize on the debts that we are facing, that we are having, and that's why we are requesting that the government should look into our plight and release the remaining stipends that we have. Because people have been owed. With most students actually went loan from other people. We have these agencies that students know the situations that Nigerians are going through, so they usually give money to Nigerians with interest. So if you go and borrow like $1,000 right now to settle your landlord and other things, it's still accumulating every month. So for the past 30 months, every month you are still having an interest added up to the money that you have taken. So this will definitely not go a long way, but we still appreciate that we are calling on the president to look into our plight.
All right, two quick questions. How long more does the average student have to stay in the different countries that you've mentioned that are having the part of this scholarship. That's on one hand. And since this was escalated and we've seen across social media, what has been the immediate response of the federal government and what are the assurances you're getting from them?
Okay, with regards to your first question, I would say the average number of years a student will stay in this host country is 5 years, because degree is basically 5. And then those of us doing medicine, we have 8 years of medical studies here in Morocco. So it varies from one country to another, depending on the educational system of that particular country. With regards to the assurances we're getting for the Federal Scholarship Board, yes, we have a parent forum, which have actually sat with the Federal Scholarship Board. The director said she showed to them the list of students and how much they are being owed for 2023, and of course for the remaining balance of 2024. And she said they have sent the list for approval. So up to now, last year's one was not approved because we have not received it, and then this year we are still adding more to request for approvals, which has not yet been given from my own knowledge. The minister also came to write on his X handle to say that this money is not reduced, but rather is going to be debt on the federal government, and they will settle it to us as soon as they have the funds. So the main question right now is how soon will they get the funds while the students are languishing in hardship. We are really suffering at this point, and I speak on behalf of every student here. So we are calling on the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of course through the Minister of Education and through the Director of Federal Scholarship Board, that while we appreciate this opportunity, we're calling on him to look at us as his children. These are his children that are in no man's land. We are being chased out of our apartments. We are all fighting with other people who their parents can actually afford to pay for their accommodation. We know the economic situations in the country, and every sector deserves to be given adequate attention. But we are appealing to him to see that these are his children that are in outside country and are facing severe hardship. We have young students, young females that cannot even afford to buy pads. We have young female students that we are scared probably they may go into prostitution or other illegal activities in order to make ends meet. We have young students that have been sent from 18 years last year, just in last year to a foreign land. They are still yet to adapt, and yes, they cannot have enough and sufficient funds to take care of their challenges. So, Mr. President, we are calling on you as your children. We are calling on you as a father who is listening to all of us here to please, we know that government process takes time, but we also know that you have the power to approve this fund within a minute and everything will be paid to the students. And we believe that you are going to do so. And we thank you so much for the opportunity. We also thank Channels Television for this opportunity to air in our views. Thank you.
You know, it's one thing to be stranded, cash-strapped. It's another thing to be going through that in a foreign land. You can't just go to someone, knock on the door and say, oh, this person is my family member, I need help. You are literally lonely there without help. So I can only imagine what you're going through right now, as well as others. You know, time and again, some of you reaching out and saying, this is what we're going through, from Hungary to Morocco, Russia, and these other countries that you mentioned. I did a quick math. So if you're owing, or if you're being owed $500 for 13 months, let me know if I'm correct. That's $6,500 for 13 months. That's $500 per month. Or how can you give us a figure of just how much you're being owed as an example?
We have a total of $3,123 in 2023, and we are right now in July, which is 7 months. So we have a total of $3,500 in 2024.
So
that makes it $6,623 in total. Yes, sir.
That's just almost around that, and that's quite a lot. You said a lot of people have had to take loans and the rest. For a lot of people, they're actually hearing about this bilateral education agreement for the first time. They're wondering, as my colleague asked, Bukola, the terms. Would you return to the country after you're done with your studies and the rest? So those are some of the questions around that. But let's speak to the coming days now. You've talked about the possibilities for people who are not able to make ends meet, and we do not want those things to happen to them. So speak to us, your own experience, your own, at least what you have experienced so far, where you're at right now. What is the government of Morocco, or at least that end? What are they doing? Are they providing at least some accommodation for you so that at least you know that that is sorted? And the rest. So speak to us about your experience and what will happen in the coming days for you.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. Before I answer that, I would love to say that every Nigerian you see in the diaspora, of course, would love to come back to our dear nation to make our own impact. So with regards to that, we have a lot of students, some of whom have studied medicine, some of whom have studied nursing, pharmacy, engineering, and other courses, right now trying to sort out their license with the relevant authorities in Nigeria, and some of them are already working as well. So, and these students bring in advantage to the nation because they have exposure in other man's country, they have experience that other students who have studied in Nigeria do not have. And also we study the foreign language. So as I speak to you, I'm quite good in French, and a lot of other people are good in French. Russians are good with Russians, and other countries too are good with those languages in those countries. So that's one side. With regards to my own proper experience, is that this situation has been lingering. In 2019, I remember we did the same protest, and the then President Muhammadu Buhari approved about a total sum of $6 billion, that was 6 billion naira rather, that was settled, that was used to settle all the areas. So we just appealing on the government to kindly do same thing. We also want to be representative of Nigeria and continue to fly high the banner of Nigeria. But in doing so, we need to be adequately taken care of so that we can give our best back to our dear nation that has spent so much in training us. Thank you.
Well, I believe we're totally out of time, right? If not, we have... Maybe you should just answer this briefly. You said that the minister said that this is considered a debt and that as soon as the government has it, they will repay it. Does that mean that the federal government may be reviewing its position on what you're being owed?
I cannot say that for sure because from the explanation we are getting from the minister as well as the Federal Scholarship Board, they said the letter specifically states, the letter you were showing before, it specifically states in paragraph 4 that the balances of 2023 and the balances of 2024, according to them, is $280 per month, which they have adjusted, they have reduced, will be settled. So by going by their words, they said it's going to be settled, but we have no idea when it's going to be settled and how it's going to be settled.
Just another quick one. If you're unable to, pay pending the time that you're expecting your funds, how long more before those institutions, especially for students who are unable to secure loans, how long more before they are prevented from accessing their classes?
Okay, the bilateral education agreement is not the federal government that pays for the tuition fees, like I said earlier. So the federal government only pays for supplementation allowance to augment feeding, transportation, and other basic necessities. So the host country is expected to pay for the tuition fees, which they have been doing that over the years. We have no issues at all with them. And then the host country is supposed to also, in some countries, they give a little bit of augmentation as well, like Morocco. I think we get a total of around $120 each 2 months, but that will not really go a long way. And then they are also responsible for accommodation, but in some cases we don't have that accommodation, and that is the case of Morocco, and that is what we have been saying. So even from the 500 stipends that is meant to be used for feeding and transportation, we are using over 50% of it to pay in accommodation.
Right.
And right now we are only going to get that 50%. So with a lot of debts on our hands, and we don't know how to go about it. So our plea, like I said earlier, is for the government to look into our challenges, see us as their children, and be able to help us and settle
we
this
hope that
as soon as possible.
Yeah, we hope that, sorry, we're totally out of time. We hope that relief comes your way soon as possible in the payment of these allowances. Dalhatu Tijani,
so
medical student.
Thank you for your time. We also feel the channel television to keep up with the follow-up so that we see to the end of this matter. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. This is the first platform we have, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Dalhatu Tijani, medical student, Hassan II University, Morocco, Casablanca, and spokesperson, Union of Bilateral Education Agreement Scholars. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all we have for you today. But before we go, we have some messages that we can take very quickly. The first one is from Udo Anselm, who says, every day Nigerians are suffering no food, insecurity, high inflation, no money, no employment, no electricity, no road network. Lead us well. Don't let this nation fall apart, Mr. President.
All right, Ray from Lagos. I think it is better for the government to address the food crisis with same energy they are bent on preventing peaceful protesters who intend to exercise their fundamental human rights.
Well, Joaquin, Arikibe also has this one, wondering why pro-government protests aren't hijacked during the PBC. People protested in support of government, but nobody talked about it being hijacked. So these are some of the comments you've sent in. We appreciate you for spending your time with us this morning. And we just want to say again, it is not fair to have people queuing on a Monday morning just to retrieve their lines. We hear queues are spiraling even onto the roads as we speak. This needs to be sorted. We have to run now. I'm Kayode Okikele.
We'll be back again tomorrow, but don't forget, stay on with us because Sunrise Daily is up next. I am Bukola Koka.
I'm Jeffrey Uzoma. Bye-bye.